morning. Today is November 3rd. It's a Monday, so we are finally heading to Key West today. So we had a little bit of an interesting start. The Gladiator that I have, the driver rear upper control arm, a bolt just left the chat. So we had to pick that up at Home Depot this morning and put that in. Easy peasy. But a little bit of traffic leaving Harrisburg, and we are on our way. So throughout the trip, there's a lot of things I wanted to kind of point out about the Gladiator. So I know they're new and everybody's got their opinions about Jeeps, but I got to tell you, this thing just continues to impress me. So the biggest thing I could say here is that cruise control is your friend. At one point later on in the video, I'll probably talk about how great the gas mileage was when we were closer to Key West, but I was easily with 35s able to get 20 miles to the gallon. Now I had to reset the fuel gauge or the whatever you want to call it, the MPG average each fuel stop, but even then there was a time or two I forgot it, and the thing was still getting over 20 miles a gallon. At one point, I think down towards the Keys, I was getting 23.1. So cruise control with this thing is your friend. Now, as you'll see in the next clip that's coming up, we had a decent amount of time in Ocala in the morning. I take that back. We actually really only had the morning of the one day. But, dear Lord, you could drive for days back here. There was just so much. Now, it's not really obstacle-y. A lot of decent sand pits. Some of them were quite muddy. You'll see a puddle later on that my buddy's Tacoma did not make it through. But here's a big little I don't want to call it a parking area, but like a little fun spot where you could tell some side-by-sides and Jeeps were doing some circles and figure eights and running around there. There's so much in this area to do. So definitely check it out on Google or Onyx or Gaia GPS. There's another one called, I think, No Roads that we found out about at the Overland Expo. Pretty cool. We were using that for a little bit, but this area is just littered with trails and offshoots. We didn't air down. We just decided to keep it in 4 low or 4 high, whatever suits your needs. But airing down would be best. You can see here we're just kind of packing up for the morning. The temperature, we're coming down from PA to Florida. The temperature is pretty interesting. It went from like 60, 70 degrees during the day to 20, 30 at night. Florida got cold quick. Now, obviously, it warmed up in the morning, but it was definitely a lot colder than what we were expecting. It's a little bit of a time lapse here. This was one of the main trails to tread lightly. Now, we didn't mess around with the offshoots, but dear Lord, you could drive for days back here. Now, I think this trail is 80 some miles long. You can see there was an old vehicle we passed, still some mud puddles, and those puddles could be deceiving. Some of them were muddy, some of them were sandy, some of them were both. Some of them were deep, some of them were not. So take each one with a grain of salt. There were 2 of us, so we were able to winch each other out, like you'll see in a minute or so. But definitely want to make sure you have some good recovery equipment with you if you're going to go on this trail. And when I say recovery, a winch is great, but traction boards probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Definitely plan to self-recover if needed. But anyways, here's the puddle.
You were saying? Can you keep trying to back up?
One of the good things about this trail is that generally speaking, we had service the entire time. Now, there might have been a time where, we went down to 2 bars or even one, but we didn't really ever lose connectivity. So I mean, don't get me wrong, bringing a map is awesome and great, but if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're at. So being able to have service here was definitely a plus. So trying to find your way out in some spots is a little tricky, but rest assured, I think you'll be fine with service.
All right, I'm gonna try to do this while driving. So we are on the Tread Lightly Trail. Bartos already got stuck with this Tacoma. This trail's fun. Like a lot of soft sand, some decent puddles, good times. But we are heading out of the trail to try to find a car wash because we're very muddy. And we'll fuel up, and then we'll be on our way to Key West. So more to follow. Necessities.
So this part of the drive was a lot of fun. We actually this is our way out of Key West. Coming in, it was nighttime. This was fun. I know that this part right here shows a 2-lane road. However, from pretty much the beginning of the highway south of Miami all the way down to the Keys, it's pretty much a 2-lane road that you see here. Some passing spots, but not many. And the speed limit is, in the 40s, 50s. It's not much, and there's a lot of cops. So if you're planning on driving the Key West, keep that in mind that it could be quite a while. Just FYI. So this portion in Uwharrie was the last part of our trip. So we started in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, drove all the way to Ocala, spent the night, did Tread Lightly, woke up, drove to Key West, was there for 2 days, drove back about 3/4 of the way to Florida, Port Orange, to visit some friends, spent the day there, and then the following day we drove here to Uwharrie, spent the night. There are two big parking areas here where there's ATV drop offs. So you can bring a trailer and a camper. Tons of campers and trailers there. So we just camped and, you know, nobody bothered us. I think the campsites there are first come, first serve, so just FYI. You might see some of them here on this little time lapse, but very nice. Roads are pretty well maintained. This is actually a trail, but this place was fun. A lot of trails there. This place we did have okay service, but we, you know, I also, you know, lost it at times. So I would recommend getting a map for this and just kind of trace your way in and, you know, where you're going so you know where you're at. But the Dickey Bell trail that you'll see up ahead, that thing was steep. It is definitely no joke. And we went up it when it was a little on the wet and muddy side too. So air down, take your time, have a good spotter. We had two-way radios we were using between us to make sure we were, you know, going on the right path. But there's a decent amount of trails here. Plenty of room in these areas to pass. I think a lot of them are 2 lanes. You'll see a lot of dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides, full-size trucks, Jeeps, you name it. A lot of Broncos in the area, a lot of Jeeps, a lot of modified vehicles like some of the old military Cut Vs and stuff like that. So this area was definitely well worth checking out. Might even plan to go back, but just an FYI, if you're doing that Badge of Honor trail, that is no joke. So just be prepared. There are winch points, but having a second vehicle, having a good spotter would definitely benefit you. But here it is coming up.
My stupid sway bar connected. Hang on. Stand by. I want to put it first. You're clearing the tree. Come passenger. Passenger. Okay, come driver a little bit. Okay, if you want to come passenger. Keep coming straight. Next time for lockers. Rear's locked. Okay, driver. Straight. Driver. Okay, straight up.
You'll see here in this part that I threw on the front lockers. I was hesitant to throw them on at the same time I knew when I needed them, and boy did they work. And you'll see how this Gladiator just crawls up once they're on right here.
You're good. Keep coming straight. You're gonna hit a rock on your driver's side. Keep coming straight up.
Okay, passenger. Straight, straight. You got one rock in the back that's holding you up.
Which side should I cut to?
Just keep going straight. There we go, cut passenger. Straighten it out. Nope, nope. Back her up, back her up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're gonna drop. Nope. Don't turn the wheel. Don't, keep it straight. Okay. You gotta come driver or far passenger. Driver, driver. Good. Okay, straighten it out. Okay, straighten it out. Climbing the rock. Ooh. Nope.
I was sliding.
I know, I know.
Am I eye-centered?
No, you're still clearing. You're just barely clipping your cross member going across on that one rock. Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Back her up. You're good, nice and slow.
Straight or?
Yeah, straight. No, back, 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 back. You ain't making that rock over your pumpkin. Okay, cut driver. No, you gotta go back, back, back. You're still on the same line.
Cut a driver and go back?
Yeah, just like that. Cut it hard and go back.
Slide off that ledge right there.
You got about 2-inch drop, so you're good. You're touching now. Cut it hard, passenger. Okay, stop. You're stuck in this little channel here.
Can we get a rock and put it under my tires?
So in the end, we had to stack some rocks up, but we made it. Definitely a fun trail. Listen to your spotter if you're doing something like that. We have a blast on these trips, and it's just a chance to get out and explore. Really clears your mind of anything you got going on. And the main reason I purposely do these is to just encourage vets. It doesn't have to be vets; could be anybody. But PTSD, depression's no joke. So if there's anything going on, you need to talk about it to somebody. But trust me when I say getting out and exploring and just going on an adventure is definitely going to help. So enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching.